Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's Quantum Sparks. Today's class is all about one of the biggest shifts happening in our industry, how to integrate AI into your business while never losing the human touch. AI has already changed the game, automating market reports, scheduling, CMA creation, and even marketing content. It's leveling the playing field so that any agent can look like a pro right now out of the gate. But here's the truth. AI can make you efficient, but it can't make you unforgettable. That's where you come in. In this class, we'll explore how AI is reshaping the buyer and seller experience. Hold on. Okay. I don't know why my screen's not showing. Let me try to share it. We're going to cover how AI is reshaping the buyer and seller experience, which tasks to automate so you could spend more time with clients, the human skills that no machine can replace, empathy, imagination, and trust. We're going to talk about the full client journey map, showing where AI handles efficiency and where your human touch creates magic. And then we're going to talk about practical tools that you can start using immediately. The agents who thrive in the AI age will be the ones who use technology to free up time, then reinvest that time into listening, connecting, and building trust in ways only a human can. So let's get started with the human edge in the age of AI. Let me reshare my screen. There we go. Okay, the human touch in the age of AI. As always, knowledge is only potential. Knowledge is not power until it's executed upon. So make sure you have a pen and paper available as we go through today's micro class. I want to start with a quote. The real problem is not whether machines think, but whether men do. B.F. Skinner. So what we're going to talk about today, why AI matters now, why AI does well in real estate, what AI cannot replace, and then designing a business around human strengths, but also utilizing AI in a way that creates efficiency. So why does AI even matter? It matters because the technology has reached a tipping point where it's no longer experimental. It's no longer an option to utilize AI in our business. It's practical, it's scalable, and it's embedded in all areas of our life. It represents both a massive opportunity for progress and a profound challenge for how people use it. AI raises all kinds of questions, such as misinformation, privacy, job displacement, and even human identity. It forces our society to ask, what does it mean to be human when machines can do so much of what humans used to do? And it makes human skills such as empathy, creativity, ethics, leadership, connection, all of these become the most important pieces that we can offer to the clients that we do business with. These make us valuable. Our empathy, creativity, ethics, our connection, because these are the things that AI cannot fully replicate. So AI has evened the playing field in many respects in real estate. So for example, a brand new agent has the same tools available and can look really experienced really fast. So now the new agent and the experienced agent look almost identical to a consumer. But it's more than that. It's more than a difference between new and experienced. It's a difference between the casual agent can look a lot like the committed agent. The part-time agent can look a lot like the career agent. The transactional agent, who just cares about doing deals, can look exactly the same as the relationship-driven agent. The surface level agent can look a lot like the invested agent. The agent that just dabbling in the business can look a lot like the dedicated professional. Entry level can look like a mastery level agent. And the opportunistic agent can look exactly like a purposeful agent. So what does this mean? What if you are the career agent? You care about building relationships. How do you differentiate yourself when all the agents look the same because of the tools that are available through AI? A new agent now has access to instant expertise. They can use AI to generate polished CMAs, create compelling listing descriptions, design marketing campaigns, and answer client questions with professional level language. AI erases the gap in writing, graphic design, video editing, and this means that really anybody, somebody that's literally dabbling in the business, can produce materials that look just like that of a seasoned real estate marketer. Not only that, AI helps with efficiency, tools for scheduling, lead follow-up, drip campaigns, transaction management gives the dabbling agent the same operational systems that top teams used to develop over years. And then market knowledge. AI-powered platforms can analyze trends, pricing, and neighborhood stats instantly, reducing the knowledge gap between the new and the experienced agent. So now I've been in the business for 30 years, and I think back to all the things I used to do manually, from a book that had all of the listings in it, and you page through. And back then, the real estate agent had control of all the information. Well, now that is all given directly to the consumer. Every piece of our business, for the most part, has slowly but surely been handed over to machines, which means the people practicing in the business now have an even playing field, which can be good and it can be bad. It means that a newer agent can get started much faster because they can look as good as a seasoned professional. But the downside to it is those agents that don't want to spend their time getting good at their business, that they kind of just dabble and take some business here and there, but they're not career agents who are interested in building relationships, that they too can look as good as a seasoned professional. So let's look at why AI can't erase the experience of a really good real estate agent. Because we're going to study today, what are the pieces that we kind of have to give in? We have to say, you know what, I got to use AI here, but what are the pieces that I can double down on to get extra good at so that I still stand out, so that it's clear to the consumers, my buyers and sellers, and the buyers and sellers who would want to work with me, that I'm not the same as every other real estate agent. So, what are the things AI can't fully erase? Well, it can't erase judgment. It can provide data, but it cannot replace the intuition and the situational awareness that a veteran or a relationship-driven agent can develop through all kinds of transactions. I also feel that AI cannot really replace negotiation skill, such as reading the tone, the timing, and the human emotion when there's a tense negotiation going on. That's all human skill. AI cannot duplicate relationships and trust. Clients ultimately choose agents that they feel connected to. That's relationship driven. AI can polish communication, but it can't build genuine human rapport. Problem solving. Every deal has surprises. A committed agent knows how to navigate inspection crises, financing snags, or emotional sellers. AI can advise, but it can't carry the emotional weight to help the clients. AI compresses the gap between the casual versus the committed agent in terms of appearance of professionalism. So the casual agent looks a lot like the committed agent as far as the appearance of professionalism. A casual agent can look like a committed agent faster than ever before. But long-term success still depends on the human dimensions: trust, empathy, resilience, and judgment. AI's power. So let's look at the things that we need to double down on as far as AI. Data processing. It knows predictability, pattern recognition, and it's great for automating. It can help us scale. It can help us scale even some of the communication we have with clients. So what has AI already replaced in our business? Well, in the early years, the machines disrupted everything. The computer generated information and online listings replacing the MLS books. That was a massive shift in our industry, going from we were the keepers of the information to now all of the information being available directly to the consumer. How about mapping? Think about when I started in this business 30 years ago, literally it was a map book. So as GPS replaced the map book, it opened up the territories we were doing business in. Now, 30 years ago, most real estate agents stayed within a very tiny compressed bubble of area that they did business in. Why? Because they knew how to get around. They knew the streets like the back of their hand. Well, now most real estate agents go everywhere. It's easy to because we have GPS and we can just plug an address in and it's going to take us right to the front door of that property. How about valuations? In the old days, 30 years ago, we had to have a piece of paper where we'd go examine each of the properties that had sold within a market, our 3 listings, our 3 under agreements, our 3 sold. We would sit and do the math to figure out the best value of a property. Now it's mostly valuations. We plug in an address and a machine, a computer, is spitting back to us saying, here's what the property value is. And now we're seeing that the machines are even creating our content, our blogs, our listing descriptions, our marketing copy. All of it is now AI. Not only that, a lot of the social media posts and ad templates, it's all automated through AI. AI has also replaced communicating, like the drip email campaigns, text follow-ups, chatbots, AI voice assistants that will actually schedule appointments, and even down to transaction automation, e-signatures, digital transaction management, smart contracts. The real differentiator, if everyone has access to the same AI tools, which we all do, the magic of the real estate experience is going to be the human experience that is layered on top of all the technology that has already massively shifted our industry. So we have to let AI handle the heavy lifting so that we can scale. We have to let AI do the data entry, the market reports, the automated touches. The integration of AI is not optional. If you are not going to integrate AI with AI, you're at risk to the mortgage/real estate companies that are taking over the industry using AI integration. Many of you guys know one of the largest real estate competitors in our market is owned by the largest mortgage company in our market. And I happen to have a mortgage with that company. And constantly, every time I log in to make a mortgage payment, they're trying to convince me to sell my house. They're staying in touch with our customers. So they have integrated AI into the mortgage process, just the mortgage payment process. So when the consumer is going on, logging into the system to make their mortgage payment, they're soliciting business, saying, hey, did you know how much the value of your house is? This is how much equity you have. Would you like to sell your house? Would you like me to have a real estate agent show you the value? So that should scare you, or it should at least cause you to pause and say, number one, I have to also utilize AI so I can, in a massive way, scale my communications to stay in front of my customers. But also beyond that, there's something that all this automation cannot do. It is the magic. It is the human skill. But what's important is as we build our business plans, we have to think about both. As we design the consumer experience, both the buyer and the seller experience, from the moment of first contact a consumer has with us, all the way through the closing and after the closing, we have to think about at each touch point, what are the pieces that I need to have AI do so that I remain competitive and I can continue to scale my business? But also, what are the pieces that no AI can duplicate? What is the magic that I can make so my customers come back to me instead of opting for the easy route, which is just ask for the real estate agent when I'm making my mortgage payment because they already know the value of my property. They know everything about me. So why would the consumer want to choose the agent they know, like, and trust? It's all the magic that you can bring to the table. So when it comes to human skills, we have to think about how can we build deeper relationships? How can we spend more face-to-face or phone time with clients? This is so important because the way of the world is texting and automation and emails, but to remain relevant, we have to continue to get face to face. We have to do the things that the AI, the machines can't do. We have to take people for coffee. We have to attend their life events. We have to send handwritten note cards to show that we care, that we're thinking about them. We have to develop long-term connections that go beyond the transaction. Not only that, we have to listen and show empathy. We have to use the extra time that we save by using AI to really listen to people and understand their fears, their motivations, and their dreams. We have to practice asking follow-up questions rather than just rushing to solutions. And we have to become known as the agent who truly listens and cares. We also have to be great negotiators. AI can provide data, but only humans can read the emotions and power dynamics that are at a table. So we have to really take classes on learning body language, persuasion techniques, how best to frame a situation to help our clients. And we have to practice our role playing, our negotiations with peers so that we can sharpen our instincts. Another place that we can really shine is community building. This is what AI cannot do. AI cannot host buyer events. It cannot host a Thanksgiving pie giveaway to say thank you for the business. AI can't sponsor local activities or create networking groups where people feel connection. So position yourself as a community leader, not just a transaction facilitator. AI can do the entire real estate transaction, but we can make the consumer feel good. We can negotiate in their best interests. We can pull all the human cues together to offer an invaluable experience to our buyers and sellers. We can also do creative problem solving. Every deal hits roadblocks, financing snags, inspection issues, emotional clients. By the way, instead of getting aggravated when there's a roadblock, those are opportunities to say thank you. This is why I'll always have a job, is because of these roadblocks. Agents can now spend more time brainstorming creative win-win solutions instead of drowning in all the paperwork that can be done through machines and computers. And then emotional intelligence. The value that we can bring to any transaction is not only our intelligence of the real estate transaction, but just emotional intelligence in general, especially because it's an emotional transaction for our buyers and sellers. So we have to strengthen our ability to manage emotions under stress, read cues, like we talked about last week. Last week's Quantum Sparks class was all about reading energy. We know how to calm anxieties, High emotional intelligent agents are irreplaceable in a business where clients make the biggest financial decisions. So the big picture is AI is leveling the technical playing field, but what will set agents apart is how they reinvest all the freed up time into mastering timeless human skills that clients value most, such as empathy, trust, presence, and wisdom. So we're already at the end of our program today, but I wanted to map this out so that you guys could take a look, a buyer client journey and a seller client journey. And these are the ways that you can start thinking about the client experience from a buyer's point of view and a seller's point of view. And what you'll see, and I'm going to put these at laerrealty.com/quantum sparks after today's program, where I put the recordings and a link to the slides so you can refer back to the slides. I'm also going to put a link to the sample buyer and seller client journeys, because what I did was map out a buyer journey and a seller journey. And you'll see from, for example, the buyer client journey, first impression. What is AI's role in creating a great first impression with the client? And then what is the human touch that I can add to it so that I'm not relying on just AI for the entire transaction? How about in the discovery phase of looking for real estate and education? What is AI's role and what is my human role in that? And then going to the home tours. What is AI's role? What is the human touch that I can add? Offer and negotiation. AI's role, human touch role. Transaction management. AI's role and the human touch. So I did this from first impression to closing, and I did it for the buyer journey and the seller journey. I'll share those at laerrealty.com/quantum sparks underneath where you can watch this video. You can download the slides. I'll also put a separate link for the buyer client journey and seller client journey, so you can think about how best to map out the client journey by integrating AI, but also weaving in the magic, which is the real reason why the clients are choosing you. So with that, you can watch all of our Quantum Sparks classes at laerrealty.com/quantum sparks. And as always, if there's a topic you'd like us to cover in future programs, please send a note to us. You can go to laerrealty.com/ask anything, and those requests will come directly to me. Thanks, everyone.